If there was one album in 2011 that I would say was the album that defined 2011 for me, it would be Torches from Foster the People. Who join me now? How are you guys?
Good. How are you doing?
Welcome to Scotland.
Thank you.
Well, why is it taking so long to actually finally come here?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but we're here now, and we got to check out a bit of the city today, which is cool.
Okay, so what the first things that you do when you come to Scotland and you know you're in Scotland, what do you want to check out?
Golf. We want to play golf. But we didn't have any clubs with us today, so
you could have hired them.
Could have, yeah. We walked around though on the campus here, and checked it out. What was that one building we went into?
It's the museum.
It was like a music hall type thing.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Kelvin Grove Museum?
Just right up on the top of the hill here with the big steeple and...
Yeah.
I think it's part of the university, but
it's definitely part of the university somehow, but yeah, we kind of walked around campus and checked out some of these, some of the side roads. Haven't gone down to city center yet, but maybe tonight after the show.
Oh, you're going to party. And the whole tour is sold out as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's cool. It's surprising. I mean, this is our first proper tour here in Europe, so it's cool that it was sold out, You don't know how, you don't know exactly what to expect when you come to a place for the first time, but we've been accepted with open arms, which has been cool.
Take me back to the evolution of Foster the People. How did it all start in the first place?
We were all buddies in LA for a few years, and we were all playing in different projects and stuff, and kind of decided to start just jamming together for fun, and it felt good. We booked a show, and I think after that first show, we kind of realized that we had something cool. So, we stopped everything else we were doing and just focused on the project and gave it a band name, and and soon after that, Pumped Up Kicks was written. We put it on our website and started to just kind of spread around virally and kind of put us on the map. So after that, things have just been kind of moving quickly for us.
See, Mark, I've never been quite sure whether Pumped Up Kicks came before the band and with that song it became a live thing and then you did the album, or how it all worked. But I mean, the band was already in place.
Barely. Yeah, I mean,
right.
we were playing really casually at that time, So I mean, we weren't really serious about it. And I wrote the song when I was I was composing for commercials and stuff. Wrote that song there, and I think a couple weeks after, we made a website and we're kind of like getting more serious. We're like, all right, and put the song on the website, and
then we had to get serious.
Yeah, and then we had to, because things started taking off. After the next, we booked a show that was supposed to be it was like on my birthday in February 2010, at the end of the month, and it was just gonna be like friends and stuff, and so it was like 2 weeks after we put Pumped Up Kicks on the website, and we showed up to the show and it was sold out, and there's like a line out the door, and I was like, oh my god, like we're not ready for this. We'd only played 3 shows before that. Really, it was supposed to be just like kind of a birthday celebration, and after that, we kind of hit the rehearsal room pretty hard, and started to gel as a band.
Now, you said you'd been writing commercials but music when you came to LA. Wow, this album is like one of those like it was the same. Moby, it was the same, where you would look at the album track listings and that's on that commercial, that's on that TV show. Pretty much every track on the album seems to have been synced, as they say, with something. Do you? Well, obviously it's a great thing to expose the music, but do you think it takes away the integrity to an extent?
I think you have to be careful. I think you have to be careful with where the music's licensed. There's a lot of stuff that we've turned down. That just wouldn't have been, a good look for us. But at the same time, I think it's a lot more casual than it was 10 years ago, in terms of, the perception of a band like selling out or whatever by putting their their music on a TV spot or whatever. It's kind of, it's a new medium that's like become more and more useful in terms of, reaching new fans and new audiences. So, we've been pretty liberal with, letting music go like that.
When it comes to the live thing, guys, how quickly did it gel and you felt, right, we are a live entity now?
Took some time, to be honest. Trying to translate the record from what was cut in the studio onto a live setting took some work for sure, because there's a lot of different things going on. I mean, there's a lot of electronic elements, and then the acoustic elements as well. So trying to meld those two worlds in a live setting took a fair amount of exploration, and we actually tour with two other guys, so there's 5 of us on stage, just to kind of cover the grounds of everything that's going on melodically and everything else. So I would say it really hasn't been until the last few months. I mean, we've been touring all year, but I feel like the last few months we've kind of hit a stride where we're starting to say, okay, we feel like a band now. We can go places together and kind of move as one entity, and it's taken a lot of shows to get to that place, but it's feeling good.
Is the response when you come to the UK and indeed Europe different from what it is in the States?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of hard. I mean, I don't know if they're like how to explain the difference really. I mean, I want to say like people in Europe are a little bit more like hungry for music sometimes. You know, in LA where we started as a band, it's known as kind of a stingy atmosphere, like as far as like live music. You know, you get a lot of this. You know, people love the music, but they you know just do this to watch music. And over here, there's not really any of that, and so that's really great. You know, we thrive off the energy of the crowd. So if the crowd is good, then we're gonna have a good show.
I've noticed like over in Europe, like in different countries, there's different chants and stuff that people do that people don't do in the States. You know, a lot of like football chants, you know, soccer chants. Like we've gone off and like we're getting like, you know, the whole crowd's going ole 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 ole, you know, before like an encore or whatever. And that's really fun.
You might get that in Glasgow, but I can't repeat it because I think there might be a rude word in it. So do you just wait and see if it happens? Yes,
yes. Okay, perfect. All right.
It generally, here we go.
Awesome.
I bet
genius.
it's got to happen tonight. Right. If it doesn't, my producer Michelle and I will start it for you, just to make sure it happens. Call it what you want's the new single. Tell us about that one.
You know, it's one of our, you know, favorite songs on the record. I think, you know, it's an interesting track because the piano part, when I first started working on that song, you know, I couldn't crack the code for it. I had that piano part, and it's kind of like a weird experimental jazz, dissonant piano riff that the whole song's built around. And I kept trying to figure out, I'm like, man, I love this, but I don't know how to write a song around it. So, I mean, it took like a year and a half of I kept revisiting it and trying new things and trying new verses, trying new choruses before the song came together. And it ended up, you know, all the hard work paid off because it became a really, you know, a meld of you know, experimental jazz, disco, soul, and kind of like, you know, like early like 90s Chicago house, which you know, which is cool. But, you know, and the song's just kind of about, you know, not letting people put you inside of a box. And being able to kind of go against the status quo and make art and not necessarily have to have a label for it, you know. So you know, so you don't have to give everything a genre or a title. You can just call it what you want, and that's what the song's about.
And it's another one that just sticks in your head. Foster the People on In Demand Uncut.